Hello all, 4-Player Squad Gaming here, and this is our Final Fantasy XIV Trial Guide series. This level 50 optional trial is available after completing the main story questline and is featured in the quest Fear and Odin in the Shroud. It is unique in the fact that it will only appear in the Mentor Roulettes, and it is worth mentioning at the time recording this video, 15 Tomestones of Poetics are awarded upon completion. We welcome you to Urth's Fount. Say hello to the Dark Knight Odin. So without further ado, let's get into the guide. We can start this fight as normal with the main tank gaining enmity of Odin and facing the boss away from the party. Almost immediately, Odin will use VALKNUT. This point blank AoE deals large damage and should be avoided. Use any movement enhancing abilities you have if necessary. The DPS need to spread out behind Odin, as so do the healers. Do not stand too close to any other party member to avoid Odin's later abilities. After a while, Odin will start to cast SANNGETALL. This tank buster does huge damage to the main enmity threat and needs to be tank swapped, or reduced with tank abilities off cooldown. It is recommended for the off tank to provoke Odin during the cast, as to take the next swift auto attack and to ensure the main tank isn't immediately killed. All of Stone will target 3 random party members with a circular AoE. Move out of the way to avoid this. Anyone hit with this will be petrified, which cannot be cleansed. Later in this fight, this ability becomes more frequent and will target more members. It is essential to dodge this ability, as it will cause the healer and the party a huge headache if everyone is petrified. These abilities will rotate until Odin then uses GUNGNIR. This will shoot 3 spears across the area indicated by frontal column AoEs. This will deal moderate damage and knock back anybody hit by them. As the fight progresses, this ability will change frequency and patterns. There are 4 possible patterns. Keep mobile to avoid the AoE. Odin will also use VALKNUT in this phase to make the playable area even smaller. At around 60% health, this is when Odin will start to ramp up his abilities, and this is where good mobility is essential. EINHERJAR is a raid-wide ability dealing moderate damage and causing a bleed on all party members. This can be cleansed. Good communication between the healers here can rid the party of this bleed efficiently. It is recommended deciding which healers will cleanse each player before the fight begins. GUNGNIR will target 3 random party members, never the main tank, and mark them with the purple AoE circle. These players need to spread out as far as possible away from each other, and they must not overlap any other player, as to avoid dealing unnecessary damage to them. Whilst the GUNGNIR are alive, the party will be inflicted with yet another bleed debuff. The party must switch focus and kill the GUNGNIRs as fast as possible. Hall of Sorrow will be cast instantly when the GUNGNIRs land. This is just extra raid damage, heal through this as necessary. Once the GUNGNIR are killed, the multi-pattern Gangraf will appear. The frontal column AoEs need to be avoided, and as mentioned before, there are 4 patterns, now which the Gangraf can appear. These are the 4 patterns for your reference. Hall of Lead can be used anytime during the fight. This ability is identical to Hall of Stone, however this will cause a slow debuff rather than petrify. Cleanse and avoid as necessary. The mechanics will now randomly rotate, getting progressively more frequent. Make sure to stay spread out, and the healers really need to focus here to remove all bleeding debuffs and heal the main tanks from hard hitting abilities such as SANNGETALL. High damage output is important in this trial, and it is recommended that the party has a raid-wide DPS of 1750 before attempting the fight. Don't worry too much about this figure, I just winged it and I did okay. Once at 50% health or after 6 minutes into the fight, Odin will recenter and start to cast SHIN-ZANTETSUKEN. This is a DPS check, and the party should put out the most damage they can during this phase. Limit breaks are recommended to be used now, and all cooldown abilities should also be used to ensure that Odin is killed in the 30-second window of this cast. You will have a few seconds whilst the animation of this ability goes off, but don't rely on this. If Odin is not killed in time, SHIN-ZANTETSUKEN will deal KO damage to the whole party, which cannot be survived. If doing this trial unsynced, then this ability will still wipe the trial, and the party will have to start from the beginning. Hopefully, if your party can deal enough damage, you will no longer need to fear Odin in the Shroud. And there you have it, Urth's Fount is complete. Remember to commemorate the player you believe deserves it most and pick up your loot. We give this trial a difficulty rating of 3 out of 5 swords. This fight is mechanic heavy and Odin hits incredibly hard, and high DPS is required. This could easily be a 4 sword. The special loot for this trial is the Dark Divinity Glamour Gear, the Odin card, and the faded orchestrion roll of the Corpse Hall. Remember to like, comment, and if you haven't already, click to subscribe. We are 4-Player Squad Gaming. Thanks for watching.